With you for the show today, and what a wonderful view we are starting off with here at Oldonyo Lodge in Kenya. The elephants and the giraffe are still around today. We are being spoiled this week with plenty of action here. All three of them coming back to try their luck once again. Remember everyone that this is a live and interactive show, so please do send through your comments and questions to me. I'd love to hear from you, answer anything you'd like to know, or anything that you're hoping to see today, maybe where you're watching from, and anything else, comments that you have along the way, you can send through via the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. And it looks like these elephants had a drink and a bit of a splash and cool down, allowing a gap for the giraffes to come forward now. And for the most part, they get along pretty well. It is a rather small water hole in comparison to some of the larger natural dams and things like that, or even bigger river systems. So, you know, if animals do get a little bit too close to one another, especially something like an elephant, it can, you know, force a little bit of space and I wouldn't say charge, but just sort of step forward or shake their head or something like that. We have seen conflict, actually physical conflict between a elephant and a giraffe before, but that's definitely not common. And I think over time, just the familiarity between the two species has grown a lot here in the spot, also on an individual basis. And the giraffes know that they can actually come and drink when the elephants are here, especially when they're not directly using the water and just resting nearby now. Johan, hello to you. Welcome. Lovely to have you with us again. Yes, we are always on the lookout for birds. It looks like quite a few doves are around here at the moment. And always happy to share knowledge as we go along. It's awesome to know that so many of you appreciate that. Penelope, hello. You say finally the sun's come out in KwaZulu-Natal, and that's possibly good news for us in the Lowveld, where I'm based at the moment, a little bit further north from where you are, and maybe that means that the rain will pass. It's still drizzling here, but maybe by tomorrow we'll see some sun. Fatty Dunlop, yes, Thirsty Thursday. I think every Thursday is thirsty at the Waterhole show, because whatever we see is probably thirsty coming to the Waterhole. VC, yes. I don't know if it's so much a matter of feeling safe. It's almost an instinctual respect that they have because of the sheer size of the elephant. Elephants can hurt other animals. It is possible, but by nature, they're not really an aggressive species as such. There's certain circumstances that can make them angry or irritate them. And other elements, like I say, even that personal space bubble, or as we should say, maybe animal space bubble, that we have, animals have as well. And if you enter that zone, human or another animal species, you're going to potentially get a reaction that is unwanted from the elephant. So generally, when an elephant comes to an area, all the other animals move out the way. But in this circumstance, like I say, I think these particular species have spent a lot of time together in this area, and the elephants have come to accept the giraffes, and the giraffes have come to not have such a great intimidation or fear, inverted commas, of the elephants, and they feel comfortable being closer to such a large animal. So it's an interesting one, VC. And it is something that is worth discussing, because this isn't necessarily something we'll see elsewhere, elephants and giraffes drinking so close together. But they have adapted to this environment because of the smaller water source and the fact that they have to be close to each other if they want to drink at the same time. So that was interesting, just to see that there was a bit of an exhale by the elephant. I don't think it was meant aggressively at all, actually. It was just a sort of a heavy breath or an exhale through the nose, and immediately the giraffes react and move away because it's something different. But you can see this female is now already moving back to the water, realizing it was nothing serious, but still cautious. I mean, look at her, how she drops her head a little bit up again. Really making sure that I think the elephants are happy, but also no signs of other danger that might be in the area. MMR, lovely to hear from you. Some students are watching the program and are happy to see and learn about elephants. Well, it's wonderful to have you with us, so welcome. You would like to know how much an elephant can eat and drink per day. So it all depends on the size of the elephant. The smaller the elephant, the less they have to eat and drink per day. But if we're looking at these big male elephants that are hanging out here, we call them bulls. And they would be eating, we work on about 5% of body weight in general. So if you think that, for example, this elephant weighs 6 tons, then 10% of that would be 600 kgs, and 5% is then half of that, which is 300 kilograms. So on average, a big bull elephant would need to eat about 300 kilograms of vegetation. I think that's 180 pounds or so, if I'm not mistaken. It could be less, maybe 150. But somewhere around there, between 130 and 150 pounds of food. No, actually it would work the other way, double that, sorry. well, just to continue answering that question by MMR. So when it comes to food, like I say, 5% of the body weight. So 6-ton elephant, 300 kilograms in pounds, just worked out officially 661 pounds. So that's a lot. If you're looking at a cow that's perhaps half the size of an elephant bull, 3 times half the amount, 150 kgs. But some cows are larger than that, between 4.5 tons in size. So it all depends. But you're looking at a lot of food that they need every day to maintain such a huge body. In terms of drinking water, it really does depend on the time of the year, on the climate, the temperature. Of course, in hotter weather, they will consume more water. And it can be anywhere from about 70 to 300 liters. Also, again, depending on the size of the elephant. On average, I think it averages out about to 120 to 150 liters per day in adult elephants. But when you look at the little ones, of course, they're drinking a lot less. And I believe in gallons, that can be anywhere from 18 to 65 gallons. If that helps anyone to sort of understand, depending on what measurement system you use. And part of the reason why they need to, eat so much is because their digestive system is actually not very efficient. And a large portion, I think up to 50% of what they actually eat remains undigested, and they only absorb the nutrition from about half of what goes in. The rest comes out the other end, and elephants are a really important part of the ecosystem, and the fact that a lot of that then comes out in the form of poop when they defecate, and all those nutrients are still there for other animals to take advantage of, to be rolled into balls and put back into the ground by dung beetles, to be foraged through by spurfowls and even baboons and monkeys looking for the marula fruits that have been undigested. So there's a whole process going on, and what always amazes me is how nothing ever goes to waste. This is really awesome. Wow. We are getting front row seats to this waterhole this afternoon. even if it is the backside of giraffes while they're drinking. Scott, Catherine, Harriet, hello to all of you. Lovely to hear from you all. Thank you for joining us today. It's always amazing to know there's viewers from all over the world who come together to enjoy this show. Wow, how cool is that to have an elephant walk right past us? MMR, you are saying the kids want to know why the birds are sitting on the giraffes. Well, you all are very, very observant. Well done. Yes, there are birds sitting on the giraffes, and you can see this is a little bit, it is far, but you can see there are birds on the giraffe, I think on the right hand side. I'm not sure if they're on the giraffe on the left as well. I think one may have landed now. But yes, there are birds that sit on the giraffes. They are called oxpeckers, and they sit there because they are looking for food. Oxpeckers are amazing, amazing birds that are so important as part of the ecosystems out here, and they help reduce the number of ticks and parasites that live on the animals. And it's said that if there weren't oxpeckers, I think the animals out here would be so severely, they would have so many ticks on them that some of them might not even be able to survive. So it's incredible that there are animals like oxpeckers, which are birds, that are able to do that service for many of the animals out here. Not all of them. You're not going to find oxpeckers sitting on leopards or lions because that's a little bit risky for them. But they are important birds that also have very special feet that allow them to sort of clutch on to the sides of something like a giraffe to be able to eat the ticks. And so that is what those birds are doing. Alright everyone, let's head over to Founders Lodge. And here we have a herd of springbuck with a special one in between. It is the same animal as all of the other springbuck, but we refer to this as, I think they're called black springbuck basically, and it's something that is different in the genes of that specific springbuck. That means that they are completely dark in coloration and they don't have any lighter colors to them. They're very rare. We don't see many of them. And that's why it stands out so much. But still a springbuck, and you can actually see it even had a little bit of a darker brown panel on the side, and we refer to that as melanistic, which means they have a higher amount of melanin in their bodies than the other species, or the other of their species. And you could see that difference in color between that one to the others. And basically it's genetics, which is basically like the code which tells a specific animal's body or our human body to produce certain things and to make it a certain way, which is incredibly clever. And the part of that DNA or genetic coding that is responsible for the coloration of an animal or the covering of it is telling that specific springbuck's body to produce a lot more melanin than all the others, which basically makes it dark. But very cool to see. Definitely not something I've seen here before. I didn't actually know they had black springbuck at Founders. And spas, it's not very common. They can be bred. So I do know of sort of breeding farms to produce venison meat and things like that, or even game farms that provide black springbuck for certain farmers who would want that particular color of springbuck. They can breed them that way, just like white lions can also be bred in captivity to produce a certain coloration. But naturally, not a very common occurrence at all. Something else is in the water. There we go. I'm hearing the splashing. I was like, it's either a rhino or a warthog, because there's nothing else really that we see mud wallowing like that here. This little warthog is having a wonderful time. MMR, you'd like to know how high a springbuck can jump. So it's pretty impressive. They can do some serious jumping. It's over 3.5 meters, which is 11.5 feet. And people say that they've seen them jump up to 4 meters, which is like 13 feet. That's very, very high for a little bookie. But they are impressive if you've ever seen them sort of jumping. They also do this very specific thing to springbuck called pronking. Now, unlikely for us to see some springbuck pronking, today. It's possible, but unlikely. If you look up a video of springbuck pronking, it's the most fascinating thing. They said to do it to sort of show their agility and their health, especially to potential predators. And it's very funny. They sort of jump up and down with their legs straight, and you just can't believe they can get so high from seemingly standing still. It's like they look like they're on a trampoline when they pronk. Well, what a show so far. Let's head over to the Western Cape to Stony Point. Here we have a very cute African penguin. Looks like it's thinking about going into the water, but it's not sure. Every time a wave comes, it's like, am I going to take the plunge? Am I not? Penelope, I know. The sound of the ocean is so lovely. You know, the sound of the bush is a certain type of music, I suppose, that we listen to with the bird calls that we get familiar with and the other sounds of nature. But the sound of the sea will always be something special that stands on its own. And the smell, I can almost imagine the smell of the ocean watching this as well. Sergeant Sassy, you'd like to know, do penguins have good eyesight? Yes, they have excellent eyesight. They have binocular vision. They can see in color as well, potentially also ultraviolet light, but very good with ocean colors, and being able to, of course, see underwater, because that's where they have to hunt and find fish. So really, really good eyesight that they have. And here we have a cormorant who's come out of the water to dry off. There looked to be a seagull that was flapping around there. It has moved off. We also sometimes see dassies here, otherwise known as rock hyraxes, and they can be very, very cute when they're sunning themselves. So penguins' eyesight underwater is excellent. They have what's referred to as a flat cornea, I believe, and that helps them to see really well underwater. Unlike our eyes that are quite rounded, our corneas, theirs are flat, which I think has to do with how the water affects their eyes and that sort of thing. So for them it's not even an issue. They can see perfectly. Oh, there's one of the dassies. This one's come out and been like, hey, I'm here too. And it's amazing how easily they climb up and down these boulders. looks like one of the little ones. Now last year in December, I think it was, we had 3 little dassies that were still suckling from mom. It was adorable. But of course they are growing up, so they're not going to be so small forever. We've had to pop over here to Juma, everyone. The feed froze there at Stony Point, but not to worry. There's lots to look at here, especially around the waterhole. These are 2 white-faced whistling ducks that have been hanging out over the last little while. Alright, all seems sorted. Let's head back over to Stony Point. And I'm so glad that we have this camera to show off these penguins. The African penguin is now officially listed as critically endangered on the IUCN list. And by 2035, these penguins could potentially be extinct in the wild, which is very sad. And that's just due to basically loss of habitat for breeding, as well as the food source for them being depleted by overfishing in the seas of anchovies and sardines. So it's something that is actually very serious for these little penguins. Oh yeah, 2 kelp gulls, beautiful. You can always note that little bit of orange on the beak of the males, and so it's wonderful to be able to see these penguins here at Betty's Bay. Looks like this penguin is just enjoying some sunshine now. Definitely, I think the tide is pushing in. It seems like the waves are getting higher and higher. And it's interesting, we notice the changes in the tide, of course, with how much sand we see. There's a little bussy. And we have quite the community living here. And these rock hyraxes are super adaptable. I mean, they can live all over. We find them along different coastal towns, even not more inland, depending on where they can, establish themselves, even in cities. Well, not really cities, but more neighborhoodly towns where there's a lot of greenery, or close to even golf estates, or a lot of even sometimes the gutters. They live down there, so they can stay in a variety of different places as long as there's sort of cavity that they can dwell between hard surfaces like rocks or cement, concrete, that sort of thing. Very interesting. Spas, I don't know if it is something that they have to do to survive, but I think it's a really nice feeling after hunting in the ocean, that water is very cold. They have, got incredible covering on their body to maintain their body temperature so that doesn't affect them. But I think, eventually, even if they're not going to die from hypothermia or something like that, they will still feel chilly. They'll still, enjoy the feeling of the sun, especially around their faces where the fur may be a little bit thinner and there's more skin, and even their beaks, which are also sensitive and filled with blood vessels, can also, enjoy some of the sunshine. So it's not sunny every day, and there's plenty of days where I think they come out the water and they can't really dry off in the sunshine, especially during the winter months when it's very rainy here in the Cape. But I think it is a very enjoyable thing that these penguins do when they can. Well, it's been lovely to pop in here at Stony Point. We'll see if anything else happens, but for now, let's head over to Tembe. Well, it's been a really long time since I've come to this waterhole on the show, actually. And we have a beautiful zebra that's come down to feed. And with zebras being grazers, they must really enjoy all the grass that's out at the moment at this time of year. Wow, it's all new and green and very lush, soft to eat, and plenty of it around. Slowly, I think those zebras that are on the left are going to pop out into the open. We just have to be a little bit patient. can hear an orange-breasted bushshrike calling now, and the zebras are still busy there. It's not often that we see zebra here, I must say. I don't particularly remember another time seeing zebra. Of course they are around. Spice, that's a great question. I mean, based on what I've seen at this particular spot, not that common at all, but I assume on the reserve as a whole they are around. Maybe not every corner, but a fair amount of them. Lenny, thank you for that update regarding Tembe Elephant Park's Facebook page that has given an update on the rock python. I hadn't heard of the story, I must be honest with you. Mika was telling me about it, and she was directing the first half of the show. And that is so fascinating. Apparently this python, I assume hunted, but it could have also been an impala that died of other causes. Anyway, the point is that it tried to eat this impala, which I think was unsuccessful in trying to swallow it. When it comes to snakes, they have to swallow their prey whole. And I have seen rock pythons eat impala successfully before. Which is quite unbelievable, but true. And I suppose depending on the size of the python, that may be an impossible task, which clearly for this particular snake, it bit off more than it can chew, clearly. And apparently they are seeing to it, the vets got involved to try and help this snake, and the update is that she's showing improvement but still in rehab. So it's fascinating stuff. I mean, I had no idea that that could happen to a snake, that they simply just cannot eat what they've caught or found. I mean, already it is ridiculous to think of a snake being able to eat something as big as an impala. Especially a fully grown one. But I suppose there you go, even sometimes they can't swallow it down. When I first arrived to drive here at Juma for Sunrise and Sunset Safaris, I was saying how I wanted to spend some more time with zebras. I've been fortunate to see them both yesterday. Well, both drives yesterday. I'm not sure if they were around again this morning, but we'll have a look when we head out this afternoon. And I've just been spoilt with them, really. Even on the show here, we've had them at different spots throughout. Now I'm just hoping to find some giraffe out on drive. Alright, let's try and do some birding up at El Donio. Now there are quite a few birds that come and go, lots of doves. I can see some what looks to be ring-necked doves at the moment. I haven't seen a superb starling here in a very long time. I wonder when they were last actually seen. Those are such beautiful starlings that are endemic to this sort of area. We don't get them in southern Africa at all, so it's always special to see them on this camera. Nice to have a little visitor coming through for a drink. We haven't had a baboon here in a while. We've had most of the baboons at Lentor, which has been very popular over the last week with, while I've been doing the shows, week and a bit actually. Two of them on the move already. The one behind is a lot bigger. I can understand why the other one wants to stay out of its way. And it looks like these elephants left some deposits here. They were here earlier in the show. In fact, lots of elephant dung around. It just goes to show how much time they do spend here. And some beautiful citrus swallowtails there. It looks like those butterflies flying around. That looks like an emerald spotted wood dove that had a drink there. And they've got the more orangey wing when they fly, which is how you can always tell them apart. Ooh, there's a guinea fowl. That's very cool to see. Maybe we'll have a whole flock of them coming for a drink. There we go, they're all arriving. You can get really big flocks sometimes, up to 20, 30 individuals. Sometimes they're smaller, 10 to 15. I also love to peck at elephant dung. Lots of goodies in there for them. Oh, look at it. Look at them breaking it open. That is so cool. Oh, wow. Time to move out the way. Look at them all running now. Hello, big boy. For me, it really is all about the sounds, especially when an elephant like this arrives. I almost feel like I need to whisper because we're so close to it. Well, this is just so beautiful. Let's now head back over to Stony Point. Well, we've come back over to this very cute little penguin who's still sunning himself or herself in the same spot. That water keeps getting closer and closer to its toes. I think what I love so much about these little penguins, to me, that make them so cute, is the pink around their eye and their beak. You know, if it wasn't pink, I don't think they would be as cute. And definitely their little tail feathers. Oh, it must have just come out the water again. Wet for a swim and has now come up because it looks very wet, and it had almost completely dried off earlier when we were watching it. If it is the same penguin, I think it may be coming back to the exact same spot. I wonder if these two are having a conversation. They seem to be looking at each other, and neither one wants to make the effort to get to the other one. its little gull is still busy up and down the beach. They look so smooth, don't they? It's rather remarkable how the colors of the feathers are sort of so well faded into one another like that. I think many of these water birds need to be with all the moisture and being in the sea and things like that, that their feathers need to protect them from. Oh, it just pooped. I wonder if it's going to fly away. Ah, look at that. My theory still holds. Alright, let's head up to Victoria Falls. Here we have a pair of Egyptian geese looking very relaxed here by the water. We often see quite a variety of animals around here as well. And we'll have to wait and see if anything else pops up. For now though, let's head over to Lentor. Our friends are back, everyone. I've come to really look forward to these baboons arriving at about this time every day now. They have provided much entertainment. These two little ones are now having a drink. Oh, that's very cute. Why is that one biting the other one's lip? Oh, these baboons can be so funny. Looks like quite a big male that's also coming to the water. An intense groom session happening there. I feel like this baboon is just waiting for a grooming partner. So can someone just have a look here at my neck? There's the hammerkop. You're right, Penelope, it did sort of sound a bit like a rusty gate. Oh, what a beautiful view of a hammerkop. Wow. I wonder if they also just groom because they really enjoy it, you know. Looking through, seeing if they can find anything on each other. And now it's the smaller one's turn to have a look at the bigger one. I just find this grooming between them so fascinating. It's done with such focus and intention as well. You know, when we see impalas grooming each other, or even lions, it's sort of just the random licking. But with baboons, it's so specific. It's so, you know, they've got clear focus and intention of where they're looking and really going in for detail in certain areas in comparison to other animals who do it. Yeah, got to get up the leg. He's like, have you got it? Have you got it? I've been feeling like there's something there for days. Oh no, this is so fascinating. And look at that foot shape. I mean, a perfect opportunity to see the underside of a baboon's foot. Almost like an elongated hand. Mindy, yes, baboons do sleep in trees at night. And they don't make nests like we understand, like birds to make a nest or something like that. From what I've seen, we do speak about them roosting, but they sort of just find branches to sit on and rest like that. And you can definitely smell the trees that baboons use because they've got this really strong smelly scent around them, with all the baboon poop that is sort of concentrated in one place. But what is interesting, Mindy, is that other primates do actually build nests. If we think of chimpanzees and gorillas, for example, they use other sort of materials to build comfortable sort of shelter-like areas where they can, you know, rest in. But baboons do not do that. Sally, me too. I love their mannerisms, and even this one sitting here with its foot up against the trunk of this anna tree. You know, it's just entertaining to watch. So human-like in many ways. Lillian, I think it's the seed pods from this anna tree. That's often what they are feeding on. But also they feed on each other quite often, in terms of the little parasites or things that they try and remove from each other when grooming. Oh, there's a little one riding on Mom's back there. I love how this impala is just checking out, you know, the scene. I wonder if they're thinking if they need to come and drink or not, or is the space occupied right now? You could hear that beautiful African mourning dove calling there, that sort of, it's really distinctive. Well, everyone, it's been a lovely, relaxing show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone for your comments and questions. It's always appreciated. Yes, Deb, Penelope, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And Darkmane Lover as well. We will be out on Sunset Drive in a little while, so we'll see you all out there. But from myself and the team here at the Waterhole Show, we wish you a pleasant day ahead. Goodbye for now, and see you soon.